Hi guys, and welcome back to Flipping Gaming PCs until I can build myself a gaming PC with an RTX 5070. Last episode, we ended off with a nice budget build featuring a Ryzen 5 2600 and a GTX 1650 Super. We ended up selling that computer in 2 days for asking price, which was $450, which left us with a very nice profit of $171.46. So now coming into episode 3, we have the $48.54 we left off with last episode, plus our newly acquired $450, which leaves us with $498.54 for episode 3. Today we put together 2 budget builds perfect for esports and older AAA titles. This is the first build. The CPU we used is the Intel Core i5-4570, and I got it last episode for free. The board we used is the Gigabyte H81 S2H that I got on eBay for $24.99. We're using a 16GB kit of Corsair Vengeance DDR3 that I bought for $15.99 on eBay. The CPU cooler is an OEM Dell cooler that I got for free from an old PC a while back. The SSD we're using is a basic 512GB SATA SSD that I got in a pack of 2 on eBay for $45.98, which comes up to $22.99 per drive. The graphics card we're using is the GTX 1060 3GB that I got from my friend for $20. The power supply we used is the 430 watt unit from Thermaltake. I bought it in a pack of 2 as well from eBay for $46.26, which comes up to $23.13 per unit. And then the case that we used is the Cooler Master Q300L that I got on Newegg for $45. I ended up putting a white fan in it, which I had from a 3-pack that I value at $5, which makes the case $50. Now for the second build. We have a CPU, motherboard, RAM, and cooler combo featuring an i5-6600K, 16GB of DDR4, and a Z170 motherboard, and a Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo. I got this combo from a whole computer I bought on Marketplace last week for $125. The combo originally had 16GB of green RAM that I swapped out for a 16GB kit of Corsair Vengeance I got last episode for $15. I also switched out the black fan on the CPU cooler for an ARGB fan that I value at also $5. Out of the whole PC, we're using 3 of the 7 parts we got, which is 42% or about $52.50 worth of parts, plus 15 for the RAM and 5 for the fan, which is $67.50 for the whole combo. The SSD we're using is a 512GB NVMe SSD that I got on eBay for $26.27. The graphics card we have for this build is the Radeon RX 580 8GB that I bought for $50 on Facebook Marketplace. The power supply we have for this one is the Thermaltake TR2 600W that I bought on eBay for $29.20. The case we have for this one is the DIY PC Dragon. It comes with 4 pre-installed ARGB fans and a tempered glass side panel. I got mine for $55 on Newegg. So now that we have the 2 builds done, let's see how they run Red Dead Redemption 2. We're going to use the i5 4570 and 1060 volt first. In the lowest settings at 1080p, you can see we get in between 45 and 55 FPS with no stutters. Now for the i5 6600K and RX 580. At medium settings, we get a very smooth and stable 50 to 60 FPS. Now we have both builds done. We are $157.10 to the first build and $232.97 to the second build. We listed the first build at $350, which will hopefully leave us with a massive profit of $192.90. And then we listed the second build for $425, which will hopefully leave us with a massive profit of $192.03. That leaves us with $113.47 to spend on some used part deals. But before we do that, I want to explain what other parts I got from that $125 gaming PC I explained earlier. We also got a Fractal Design R4 case, a 16GB kit of DDR4, a GTX 970, and a 750 watt power supply. What I ended up spending the money on this episode was this lot of RAM and CPUs I got from my friend who works in e-recycling. He gets all of them for free and sells them to me at $10 each, which is pretty awesome for me. So out of this lot, we got a 2x16GB kit of DDR4, 2x8GB kit of DDR5, an i7 4770K, an i7 6700, and an i7 9700KF, all for just $10 a piece, or $70 for the entire lot. So now coming to the end of episode 3, we have our 2 gaming PCs, a bunch of parts on hand, and $43.47. With the i7 6700 and i7 9700KF, we should be able to assemble some higher end computers. And with the i7 4770K, hopefully we can build something very similar to the second system we built today. And that concludes episode 3. Thank you for watching to the end, and stay tuned for episode 4.